Hey, good morning. How are you today? Today we're talking about morning ritual, the morning ritual for guitar growth right here in Jason Carey Guitar. And I have my favorite flannel on. As you can see, it's got the old reinforced elbow so that when we do the 𝗵𝗵𝗶𝗴 𝗔𝗵𝗲, you know, flying elbow, we can we don't hurt our garments. Morning, Kevin. How you doing? I don't know if you remember 𝗵𝗵𝗶𝗴, but I sure do. I'm glad you're here this morning with me. Today we have some new finger permutation. This is really great news. We have some brand new finger permutations that we're going to explore a little later today. We have we're closing out our electric guitar week. As you know, week number 2 was, first week was extended, and we're going to close out week number 2 today. We have some Ted Green chord chemistry episodes coming up this weekend. We have another song, Chuck Berry's, what's that? Johnny Be Good. Like, we're really starting to break down the intro riff of that song. That's kind of one of those things that's a pretty slippery little riff, so you can look for that this weekend. But I wanted to welcome you back. Good morning. Here's the A4. Oh, here's the A440. Happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday indeed. Mark shared a guitar picture with us. Hey, this morning I woke up and I'm on my front porch. We have a sun porch here, and the doggies love to like blast through the door of the house, get out onto the sun porch and get up on the windows, and they all like to wag their little tails. We dock their tails because if we didn't, their tails would be broken in so many different ways. So they're all just like, we're all on the sun porch waving goodbye to my wife as she motors off to work this morning. And I just did, you know, I did the hum, and I tested that hum with the tuning fork in my teeth this morning early. And just after a few weeks of practicing the tuning fork, you know, 3 or 4 times a day, I'm now remembering, I'm able to recall or recognize that A440. So now what I can do, now that I'm back to that point in my life where I can reference that A note, you know, from memory, that tonal memory is something we develop over time. I can now, so if I know where the A note is, then I can use a minor third and then da-da-da, and find a C note, right? And then now that's called good relative pitch. It's not perfect pitch. Perfect pitch, from what I understand, is more like a curse. But, you know, we can develop really good relative pitch just by grabbing the tuning fork. You know, getting the tuning fork, don't bang it on anything metal. Here's the A440. And then I put that in my teeth. It vibrates my cranium. I absorb it. Kind of like in a knife fight, you know, just absorb what you can. And then you have that nice A440 right here in your cranium for good relative recall later on. So that's a good way to develop good relative pitch. So now we're tuning the guitar. Oh, all right. So good morning, friends. Good morning, Mr. Tortorello. Good morning, Mr. McQuena. Good morning, Mr. Haas. Raul. This is awesome. Everyone's just A squad. Yeah. Speaking of getting right into it. When to start learning guitar. Right now, A squad, right now is the moment we begin, right? So we're starting with a morning ritual, and we're all so glad that you're here. I think this is a first for A squad. So how do we welcome new live chat members? This is going to go well, I think. Thank you for the highlight. Oh, if you haven't seen it yet, before we get rolling, we were talking about, really old, inexpensive guitars and how valuable they are on so many different levels. And so I asked Mark if he would be willing to share me a picture yesterday's live stream, and he did. He sent it to my @JasonCareyGuitar@gmail.com. And if any of you wanted to share the guitars, your battle axes, that's wonderful. And like a little story, we can sort of like help promote the guitar, like the guitar and then the story behind the guitar, which sort of includes by default the person in some cases, right? And many people in some cases, so that's cool. You can check out the community tab right here on the channel and go take a look at Mark's story, our friend from Canada, our Canadian. Oh yeah, he's definitely up there, eh? So I'm not sure if that's Ottawa. Yeah, that's Ottawa for sure. Thanks for the highlight, Jason. Which is the best for beginners, acoustic or electric? I think Mark, it's amazing. I'm honored. Well, we're honored to have you all here, right? So we're just gonna acoustic or electric. It's up to you. Either one is great. It really depends on your goal. So the first thing I would recommend when you're taking on a new project is to do this. Number one, whether it's guitar or architecture, if you're building a bridge over a sizable gap, whatever you're doing, right? I would recommend just getting the goals. Where am I supposed to be? Where do I want to be in 3 months? So for us, it'd be like spring, June, February, March, April, May. Let's say June 1st, like the beginning of, roughly the beginning of summer. Where do we see ourselves in 3 months from now as beginners, or it works whether we're beginner at whatever stage. So I've got a short-term goal. I'm going to have 3 of those. I'm going to write them down. I'm going to write them down in order of preference. I want to learn chords. I want to learn the notes of the guitar strings. I want to learn how to play my favorite song. Whatever that list is, I would recommend you do that sooner than later, because it's very exciting. And then we go ahead and take a 5-year goal, which is sort of like, I'd call it a long-term goal. So let's say you owned a Subway franchise, you got a goal, the business goal is to sell it in 7. Buy the franchise, pay it off in 5, sell it in 7. But at 5 years you remodel, and then, maybe you remodel right before the sell, because when you remodel, you get a 25% increase in sales and then foot traffic, just because it's something different. People want to look at something new, right? People just, so if you want to get your book spiked, you do the overhaul right before the sale, right? So you get the sales just go up, and it's prompting for the the sale. So whatever your 5-year goal is, but that's a 5-year plan. Am I still playing the guitar? That's a question. Am I still playing the guitar in 5 years? Answer is yes. Am I wanting to play in a band? Have I worked with a metronome? Is my time like really super good? Because as we learned with Mr. Fish on this live stream, that if our time isn't good, we have no business on the bandstand. So if you want to play in a band, learning time is, essential. It really is for everybody in the band. So acoustic or electric is good. We work with either one. Next week, A Squad, we'll be starting right here with our acoustic guitars once again. And if you get an acoustic guitar, I would recommend getting a really affordable guitar. That way we understand the bottom of what's available for that technology, for guitar technology, whether it's electric or acoustic. Get the bottom of the barrel. That way we understand and appreciate the next level. We understand and appreciate the 350. We understand the 750. We understand the 1500. We understand the nuances and the subtleties of why a guitar might be worth 15,000. So it's a good idea to start at the bottom, irregardless, in my opinion. Everyone's got a different approach, though. Raoul acoustic, I would say. Good. It's portable, super portable, right? Bring it anywhere. Rusty Woodpecker, g'day, mate. Yeah. So where's that flag? I can't quite see it. It sounds like it's it looks like maybe I can't really see what it is. Anthony, welcome, A Squad, and Mark, really cool guitar story. Oh yeah, right on. Welcome, A. Grab your guitar and join us. So Derek Brazel, God bless this morning. God bless you. We're going to get started. So we've got a Mr. Tom Hicks over here. Very cool. Tom Hicks is playing guitar on singing songs, performing songs. He's a performing artist. He's a drummer by trade and an acoustic singer. He's turned me on to all kinds of new, like, I'm not really great at incorporating humor. Like, our family has a custom of using dry humor to execute the point. And it might be sort of our deep political sort of underpinnings probably, but we have that, that dry sort of main humor, if you know what I mean. But Mr. Hicks is really great at just finding songs that resonate with the belly laugh. So check him out on TikTok if you can. And I haven't seen you here on YouTube, so I'm assuming that Mr. Hicks has a channel here as well, so that would be worth a good check. Thanks, Derek, you too. Okay, so let's go ahead and just confirm that we are indeed in tune, at least close enough for rock and roll, you know what I mean? So, and then it sounds like we're ready to go. So we'll go ahead and start with, I'm using a pick today, although I have my fingers ready to go. My fingers are all ready to go. We've been talking about this, and I've been wetting my fingers because it is dry in here. And as you know, as acoustic guitar owners, we're supposed to keep, Martin recommends that we keep our guitars between 45 and 55% humidity, and right between, I think 70 and 74 degrees Fahrenheit. So we'll start with fingers 3 and 4 on frets. This is good exercise regardless of whether we're beginners, intermediate, or advancing guitar players. And we can learn so many things in this from so many different levels. Frets 11 and 12, fingers 3 and 4. And we're starting with down and up strokes. Really neat and complete. I was playing with Sandra and Nancy Kerr, Kerr. You can check those guys out. But Neat and Complete's a really great sounding album. You like that? Some Northumbrian stuff. And here we go. 1 E and a 2 E and a 4 attacks per beat. Go. It's super fast. We're off to the races, but it's Friday. We're closing out the week. And it sounds like I'm on the bridge pickup, and I've got a coil tapper on this particular guitar, and it sounds to me like I'm on the where I'm in the single coil function. Doesn't it sound? It's got a little bit spanky. The guitar's got a little spank to it this morning. Solo. Howdy ho. Is that a Mr. Bill reference or a Gumby reference? I see myself learning Sweet Child of Mine. Yes, me too. Hey squad, if you want to learn guitar, this live stream is the way to be. Come hang with us every morning and play. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, I've got that plug. Man, thanks for nailing that, Anthony. I'm going to use a little bit more of the guitar than I normally would on acoustic because I simply have access to and including up to fret number 24. I'm not going to spend all day doing that. I'm just going to turn around now. Position number, frets 14 and 15 and 13 and 14, and then we're heading down to 12 and 13, and then 11 and 12, which is the place from whence we came. Again, Mr. Anthony Tortorello is correct. We are all here every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for our morning ritual for guitar growth for the entire duration of 2025. And we're already seeing some pretty good sized gains. So let's go into the next breakdown. So fingers 2 and 3, frets 11 and 12. 1 E and a 2 E, and we're all grabbing guitars And we're playing these exercises. We're alone together, which of course is one of our favorite guitar albums, guitar and bass albums of all time. I was thinking maybe we get out the Joe Pass chops in the next few weeks too. Start maybe working. I wanted to work on, you know, symmetry here, symmetrical exercises that really don't have a whole lot to do with tonality. That way they are applicable. Like for example, the things that we're working on, the new things that we're working on today. The new things we're working on today include string skips and position skipping. So super easy to do, a little bit of a tongue twister, but this is great right hand development, and it works to improve our technique, our speed techniques, right? And speed and distance techniques. So fingers 1 and 2 now, same fret, same program, same finger program. 1 E and a 2 E and a you know what to do. And here we go. And you know, do you notice that when we smile while we play the guitar? I was watching some Grant Green footage on the internet this morning, and then he's clearly physically connected to what he's playing. It was recorded for, you know, airing to French television, for Television France, but then I guess for some reason it never aired. But it's just really great footage of him playing over some rhythm changes, like the song called Oleo, probably Oleo. Anyway, it's like the, you know, the rhythm changes, and just monster playing. But you know, you can see where he's kind of like slurring between the flat 3 and the major 3, and he's got a little head tilt going. You know, like he, you know, it's all about the feel. You know, largely about the feel, and he's just able to coax this beautiful tone from his guitar. So hopefully my discussion's not too overbearing of the exercising this morning. So what do we have for questions here? See myself. Yeah, squad, let's see. When you... Australia, there it is, right there. Right on, man, right on. Welcome to the East Coast and beyond. We're from everywhere. I think if we have a chance to post the flag, love to see all the flags this morning if we can. Rusty Woodpecker. I've got a studio called Woodpecker Studios. We've got these woodpeckers that knock on the pine siding, so it's a couple woodpecker holes here and there. So it's great to have you, Raul. When you start with acoustic and switch to electric later, you fly across the fretboard easy peasy, lemon squeezy. He's not lying. He's not lying. Fingers 2 and 3 and 4. Actually, let's go ahead and do the fingers 2 and 3 and 4 stretch. Here we go. I almost opted out, but let's not do that. Let's do frets 10 and 12. 1 E and a 2 E and a same exercise. Go E and. If you're seeing my feet as backwards, I've communicated with, liaised with YouTube, and they're working on getting this kind of thing, the phone flip corrected. So I apologize if it causes any grief until that time. But it's just what I've got to do. I probably could figure it out on my own, I guess, if. Probably Tony could write some code and fix it, but we probably won't go to that length. We'll probably just stick to playing the guitar. Yeah, I knew you could. Rutgers, man. You can do anything you want, man. All right, here we go. Almost to the end of the 3 and 4, and this is approaching the most terrifying piece of my my guitar life here. Fingers 2 and 3, the landlocked fingers. Ah, man, hand-locked fingers. So we've got this 2 and 3, frets 10 and 12. You're going to see me get punished here. Ready? 1 E and a 2 E and a, you know what to down, up, down, up. Oh yeah, a 1 Z and a 2 Z, and putting on my shoesies. I only say this like, I don't know if you've seen Don Stratton on the YouTube. I used to play with Don Stratton. And you can take a look at some of Don Stratton. He's a wonderful horn player. Maybe you've heard me talk stories about him before. But he is just, he was the late great Don Stratton, Don Cherry. He played with everybody. Ferguson, Maynard, I guess, and then just a wonderful horn player. Super like meditative, kind of meditative dude. One morning I asked him, I said, hey, do you hear in color? And he actually stopped and thought about it, squinted his eyebrows, his big hairy eyebrows, and said, tilted his head, cocked his head. And he said he returned an answer finally after like an ungodly pause. He said, no, and then turned around and walked away. 1 E and a 2 E and a 1 Z and a 2 Z and putting on my shoesies. And fingers 1 and 2. Mark, 3 likes, but who's counting? Oh yeah, 10. We could get the likes up there. That would be great. Heidi ho, neighbor. Mr. Hanky, there you go. I knew it was South Park, right? What a great reference. Good morning, crew, Mr. Husband. Guitar for everyone. Good morning, Jason, and everyone else. Think about all of the, I want to talk to you about something really important here. I'm going to hang on for a second. I want to come back and revisit that. GA here. Good morning, Alan. Yeah, if you're here, if you're just tuning in, stick around because we're working on the morning ritual for guitar growth, and all of us are here working on every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time doing these menial, tedious, we're working the tedium, the ad infinitum, we're working the tedium ad infinitum. Ad nauseum. So we have fingers 3, 2, 3, and 4. We have frets 10, 11, and 12. And all of 2025, we're going to be here every weekday morning. Every weekday morning for, you can tell I'm a Rage Against the Machine fan. But every weekday morning, 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, working the magic for the entire year of 2025. And we are going to see some mad gains. We're taking the first video that we did in this series. We're going to take the last video, we're going to overlay that, we're going to, well, not overlay, but we're going to compare and contrast each video just to see exactly what we gain from spending 260 hours of warm-up over the span, longitudinally, over the span of a whole year. And I've never seen it done. I've spent that time before, and I recognize I'm familiar with what kind of gain I'm going to get out of it. But I want to have it on record so we can make reference back to it. And let's say we do it for 1 year. What happens if we do it for a second year? How does that change us behaviorally? How does that change the world that we live in? I mean, there's so much that goes on that I won't bore you with it now, but we have a rubric that I'm going to start releasing. And if you have things that you'd like to add to the rubric for consult, for contrast on the, for comparison at the end of the year, let me know. Also, we're shopping for ideas. Like, what are we going to do? Are we doing like, are we going to rent out a civic center somewhere and like have the first ever, you know, morning ritual for guitar growth, annual forum? I mean, what are we doing? We do all that stuff. We've started international conferences on positive school climate. We, you know, huge stadiums full of educators from all over the world. So it's not like it's totally out of the reach. And we could be sort of, you know, it could be fun. It could be a fun thing. So here's fingers 2 and 3 and 4. 1 Z and a 2 Z and a putting on my shoesy. 3, 2, 3, and 4. We have three options placements in the fret hand, and then 2 attacks in the pick hand. So it's a hard thing for me to talk over that 2/3. But I'm going to continue. I'm going to persist. You may see a mistake or two, but that's okay. I don't want to interrupt if you're playing along, so I think I might try to lower my voice and focus on guitar tone here. And pick placement. I find like I can get more tone out of the guitar if I'm moving gingerly or tiptoeing through the tulip, so to speak. If I start giving the guitar, you know, asking everything out of it, there's not much dynamic range left after that. So where do we go from there? So once I start asking too much out of the guitar, out of the string set, it kind of limits my capacity for enjoyment and a full appreciation of the instrument. So what I'll do is try to keep that right hand under control, similar to the way I would check my volume when speaking socially. Do you know what I mean? Sing fingers 1, 2, and 3. And 1 and a 2 E and a, you know what to do, E and Canada. Yeah, Moose Jaw, Saskatoon. Drove through all those places. Man, what a great trip that is. If you haven't driven the Canadian road, like Route 1, the whole thing, you are missing out, pal. I mean, that is an amazing route. I'm learning how to play Kamikaze Pilot with yeah, I do Gurus and Simple Man. Excellent. Leonard Skinner. When you start acoustic, okay, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. 3 likes, but who's counting? Good morning, Jace. Got that. Thank you, Guitar for Everyone. Are you using an area mic? Nah, I like writing code too, LOL. Got it. Yeah, I don't think you are strumming with your left. No, I'm not. It's the camera's flipped, and I have notified Guillermo. I've notified YouTube of this issue, and they're looking at it right now. I'm subscribing to the Vibin'. Yeah, right on. We got a new sub here. Awesome, man. Thank you. One at a time. That's all it takes. A little patience and a little perseverance is all that it takes. And you know, I'm confident if I can do this, anybody can do it. Let's go back to 2-finger stretches, but this time we're using string fingers that aren't not contiguous. We'll use frets 9 and 12 with fingers 2 and 4. And we're just running through the gauntlet this morning. 1 E and a 2 E and a T E and a Fo E and a... we want to get through this a little bit quickly because, I mean, we're not going to overlook any technical, you know, needs, you know, or anything like that. But what we are going to do is introduce another simple exercise today that involves the fingers 1, 2, 3, and 4. Ooh, we've got a good stretch going on here. You can feel that in the thumb. Jean W. Joseph, good morning. I'm Clay. Oh, good. This is my second day. I love it. Jean, thank you for coming here. Thank you for being here. Great to see you from the other formats, other forums. We're here every day. Fingers 1 and 3. This is where the rubber literally meets the road. So fingers 1 and 3, 9 and 12. 1Z and a 2Z and a 4 attacks per beat and go. Just really simple, controlled, measured movements. That's all we're asking for. Good quality breath control, for example. And to in a 𝗀𝗶𝗁. Yes, you got it, man. I was playing those stretching exercises at the beginning of John Petrucci's Rock Discipline last night. Excellent. Those are some tough exercises. You ever try them? Yeah, well, you know what we're going to do? We're actually building up to, good, I'm really glad you bring that up, because we're actually building up to, so as a group, as a herd, so that we can start working on triads over the span of one single string, major, minor, augmented, diminished. All of those tasty triads are coming. They're coming, and then we're starting to get sort of like moving. We're moving into February. This is our last day of January. So this ends not only this week, but this ends our first month together, which is, I guess, some kind of a celebration. So maybe we take a look this weekend at where we've come from and where we're going into February. We're starting again with acoustic February fingerstyle. First week, we'll do 1 week fingerstyle study. So hopefully we don't lose anybody. All of these techniques are super valuable. I mean, you take a look at Matteo Mancuso and then you say like, fingerstyle is not really where I want to be. And if you just look at one of his videos and you're like, oh, I love fingerstyle. I want to marry fingerstyle. It's so it's good. We'll start working on that, and keep talking the Petrucci language, because he's one of the faves around here. So let's go back to fingers 1, 2, and 3, and 4. After this exercise down and back, we'll go ahead and do a finger stretch, okay? 1 E and a 2 E and a T E and a 4 E and a position 9, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And then we're descending. Fingers are feeling good. They're feeling awake now. I think 4 attacks per beat is a good place to be. You know, we could try 5 attacks per beat, 6 attacks per beat. We'll come back to those as we proceed through the year. That's a good way that we'll end up increasing and improving our speed. Mr. Husband, I want to do the Southern U.S. barbecue bourbon belt for a road trip, gain 20 pounds in 2 weeks. Yeah, that's you're talking. You're not kidding either, man. It's just, barbecue is a wonder. It's a fascinating thing, isn't it? It's 5 o'clock, and I'm putting on my shoesies. Anthony Tortorella, Jason, what is your setup in the room there? Is there an area mic? I did a YouTube live stream the other day, and it sounds like there was terrible. The sound was terrible coming through the MacBook speakers. Oh yeah, that's probably like what's going on here. That's probably what's going on here. I'm trying to keep this like a low barrier of entry for me. So all I do is set up, and you can look at my setup. ScottKFish.com. He just did an article on. For some reason, he put me on his website, and you can see it's sort of like an unsolicited, unwanted picture of me, and you know, you can see him in the farmhouse. I'm in the dog room. You know, we're basically filming from the dog room, and you can see it's just a like unkept space. You know, we've got dogs in here. We watch TV with the dogs. We hang out with the dogs on the floor. We put on our dog outfits and we get on the floor. You know, we lay with the dogs love it when we're in their domain. And so that's, something that we like to do. I'm running like a little space heater in here too. You can probably hear the crackling of that. The sound is not good. If you're looking for sound, if you're looking for good sound, you know what I would do? We have a few of these kicking around the shop, and they're cheap. Well, cheap money, I say cheap, they're not cheap. I mean, they're relatively inexpensive. They're relatively affordable, and I'm noticing we're at 13 likes. Can we get up to 20 likes? That would be great. I know we're kind of like a little light on the live stream today, but 20 likes would be really appreciated. 𝗵𝗄𝗄 makes a product called 𝗚İC, the 𝗵𝗄𝗄 mic, and you can plug it directly into your iPhone. It recognizes the mic automatically, uses the mic as your, and it sounds great. So if you check out the 𝗵𝗁 mic, 𝗵𝗁, we use 𝗵𝗁 everything. Our analog in and out is all 𝗵𝗁 in the shop because we're Mac-based studio, and then we use all 𝗵𝗁 stuff like the Symphony systems. So we're totally invested in 𝗵𝗁, and all of their like Go rigs too. All of their Go rigs are so awesome. So you'll get the boom, you'll get the mic is really cool. You just plug it into the iPhone and put it on a separate stand, and then you can capture the room audio. It's a little better, a little less reverb oriented. Are you listening back? Are you noticing that we need to upgrade or improve the sound on this live feed? You know what? I should be stretching while we're doing this. So I'm going to go ahead and give us a little straight arm here, and pulling those fingers back 15 clicks. And that's our stretch, right? So that's our good stretch. This feels so good this morning. I haven't done any of this yet. If you're just tuning in, we're jumping up to 20 likes. So help us get there. If you're just tuning in, this is the morning ritual for guitar growth, and where we meet every weekday morning for the entire year of 2025 at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And what we're doing is we're bettering ourselves, we're bettering our guitar skills, we're bettering our families, we're bettering our communities, we're bettering the music community, I think, by just being active and modeling good quality, wholesome activity is I've learned a long time ago, activity is the key. Activity is a key for certain. Just the act of dedicating oneself to being active is key. And we're doing just a nice simple stretch. And straight elbow. And then we're down turning here. Down turn. So you can see it's just straight down. And not pulling so hard. I'm creating micro tears. Don't want to do that. But we are doing a fair amount of repetition too, so I can see where this wouldn't necessarily be for everyone. It's sometimes it's not, I feel like it's not even for me, I have to admit. But I'm not here to get, huge viewership. I'm not here to do any of that stuff that normally like good business practitioner would do. I'm here just solely because I want to be here, and I want to keep a record of all of the things. Like I'm writing a book as I'm going through this. Like I'm working on my morning reflections, so I'm working on a book, and then I'm asking Mr. Fish to edit the book because he's an editor and highly skilled and seasoned editor. And I thought maybe it would be better for me to fully appreciate all of the things that I'm talking about, and try to absorb some of the other concerns, some of the other perspectives that I might not be aware of through this live chat, and then through just being on the internet in an operational environment where there's more than me, right? So that's all I'm working on this whole year. Is I'm not shopping for views. I'm not really shopping for likes. If they, super chats come and go, that's great. It helps keep the lights on for certain. We definitely appreciate it. But, the focus is the larger picture for me. The focus is the larger picture. If we need to change something, and getting here with a simple setup, an iPad for reference and an iPhone for, my live feed, that gets me here, right? It's still 15-minute process to set up because I don't, it is what it is. So let's go ahead and do the 1, 2, 3, 4 finger stretch. 1, 2, 3, stretch 4. 1 E and a 2, position 9, 3 E and a 4 E and a. Thankfully, these are posted later in their fullness. I get to finish in the evening. Excellent. That's really cool. Yeah. It could be my mic. I appreciate what you're doing. Thank you. Like if I was going to, let's say if I wanted to have a low barrier for entry, like let's say I wanted to record a rehearsal, I would definitely order a mic, you know, one of those 𝗵𝗶𝗁 mics. You can adjust the gain, you can, you know, dial the headphones in, you know, you have your closed back headphones where you can dial in your level. Let's start in position 1 again. 1E and a 2E and a TE and a 𝗀E and a. For example, if I wanted to live stream a band rehearsal, I would just do the same thing I'm doing now. I would just add an 𝗵𝗶𝗁 mic, dial in the gain, get the, you know, do a sound check with the band, the drummer kind of boom whacking and the bass player kind of boom whacking. And then that's all I really need as a representative, sort of like a journalistic approach, just to capture and then have a good quality live stream that I could rely on. But the, you know, the having the static in the background, like a little fan running or something, like I don't feel like it's that big a bother. I felt like more like people are looking at, you know, Mr. Neil Peart's like 1983 April issue. It was a real banger. Like people are looking at that and reading it and then coming back to it a decade late, you know, I don't know, 40 years later, I guess. Wow, this is a long time. And that many years, and then they can hear Mr. Peart speaking the words that he spoke in the interview, but the audio isn't necessarily like, you know, 100%. It's not like pristine audio, but we somehow are willing to absorb the material anyway. So I think the idea is to just some of the audio in the video wants to be curated and needs to be curated, I think, but not all of it does. And I'm okay with it, you know, and I'm okay with just trying to be there with the thing. So if I have this little stand, I can set an iPhone on, hook a little mic up to it, and then and get the angle right, and just one angle or whatever to record some of the, you know, it's like the old bluegrass bands. You position yourselves around the mic to make the mix work, and then that way, spatially, it looks interesting once you get the phone set, you know, to capture the band. And then especially if you're doing like a vertical feed, like how do you've got to put the drummer like way back in the space, and then you've got to put everybody, you've got to position everyone in the space. So it's a study, it's like a master class in visual, like 2D art, right? So you'll have some fun with that, but I really would like to see, I'd love to see like Denim Dennis, for example, like a live feed band practice or something. I'd love to see that. All right. You know, all of the things that go, like all of the dialogues between the songs, just let it cut loose. I'm not looking for polish. I'm looking for like, how do people live together, and why are people even still doing band work when it can all be done by, you know, AI and why are people still doing it? So those are some of the things that I'm curious about. So anyway, 1E and a 2E and a TE and a 𝗀E and a. If you find that 𝗵𝗶𝗁 mic is just amazing though, you'll like it. And just working through the first finger stretch, just laying back on the fingering. Hey, 𝗵𝗶𝗁, good morning. I appreciate the note, the guitar for everyone about the static in my feed. I think I think I know where it's coming from. It's noise in the room, I think. I'll see if I can correct that, because if it's an issue, we'll see if we can work around it. Lance Sizzler, I appreciate what you're doing. Thank you. I'm glad you're here. This is the first time I'm seeing Mr. Sizzler's name here in the stream, I think. Thank you for being here. If you're just tuning in, stick around. We're here every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the entire year of 2025. This is a free live feed. And what we're finding is mates across the world practicing guitar all at the same time in synchronicity, working on working on the things, working on the thing alone, but we're together on the internet. So it works for some of us, and it doesn't work for others, so this isn't really intended for everyone. And like when we have Jeff Pivar, for example, like Mr. Pivar, if you know him as a guitarist, like he's a wonderful guitar player. When he comes around, it's like, unless you know Ray Charles, unless you knew he played with Ray Charles or James Taylor or what, unless you knew what he was doing, who he was associated with, you might not want to run out and buy a concert, like an intimate concert ticket. But if you knew who he was as a person and you knew what kind of tone he generates, you might want to, it's not for everyone. What I'm saying is, this is specifically for me. And if it works for me, then hopefully it will work for you in some level. And is that better? I turned off some of that noise that might be running rampant on the stream. Okay, I think I talked enough. All right, so let's do fingers 1 and 2 and 3, 4. This is the diagonal, the famous diagonal pattern. And then we 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we 1, 2, 3, 4 in reverse. Then we shift down. Hey, Guitar for Everyone, can you send me a link to that Petrucci stuff that you've been working with? At Jason Carey, it's jasoncareyguitar@gmail.com. So 4, 3, 2, 1, and then 4, 3, 2, 1 descend. Drop a position, 1, 2, 3, 4. Invert that. 1, 2, 3, 4 again, and then 4, 3, 2, 1, and then 4, 3, 2, 1, and so on and so forth until we get down to the first position, right? So we'll start with down, up, down, up. 1 E and a 2 E and a top 4 strings. We're doing a live stream band practice today. Oh, what time? Anthony, will your gig be on YouTube? 7 p.m. Eastern Standard tonight. All right, I'll be there for certain. Kevin, gig will be up on YouTube February 21st. I think my guitars are happy for it. Thank God for bad business, yeah. I love that Electric Week because I get to use different guitar almost every day, and there's not a dusty guitar in the house. Amen, brother. 1 4 middle strings, 1 E and a 2 E and a, you know what to do, E and a. Flea, I just went from acoustic to my electric, and I really noticed how different the stretch feels. Oh yeah. Yeah, scale length of the instrument. This scale length on this guitar is like, it feels huge to me. And it might be because the headstock's so long, and it could be sort of an illusion. But it just feels like the scale length on this guitar, like I know I like the 25 1/4, or like the Gibson scale length is a really comfortable scale length, but you can stretch out. Like each guitar maker has, a slightly different scale length, meaning that, from the nut, from the length of the string from the nut to the saddle here, right? So the bridge, that length, that active length of string is typically, will run a certain length for Gibson, and then a certain length for Fender, and a certain length for, like Rickenbacker. So those are interesting statistics. If you're not guitar geeky enough yet, we can upgrade our guitar geekiness by just kind of looking into those things. Bottom 4 strings, and then we get into the new exercise, last 10 minutes. Ready? 1 E and a 2 E and a T and on my shoe E and a. Ooh, let's get on the low E string. 1 E and a 2. Here we go. And this next exercise is all 4 finger. It's just 1, 2, and then what we do is skip up to the D string, and then do 3, 4, or 4, 3, and then we go back to the low E string with 4, 3, and then back up to the D string with 1 and 2. So it's 1, 2, 4, 3, 1, 2, 4, 3, but it's a little bit like incorporating this kind of exercise into the typical 1, 2, 3, 4 exercise that we run. gonna do double time here. Slippery stuff. Slippery slope to bad technique. All right, so let's stay on the track, the good track. So this is really simple. It's going to look like this. This is the next exercise that we're going to I'm going to incorporate because it's a little bit more like tongue twister. It's new ground for us, new ground for me for certain. I mean, well, maybe not new ground. I guess I can't advertise it as new ground for me. Is the sound any better? Is there less ambient noise in the room? Oh, you're the man. Right on, bro. Anybody wants to send me pictures of their guitars that they're working on, any favorites and any backstories, love to see them. Jason Carey Guitar at Gmail. I'm old enough to say I was one of the first invites to Gmail from friends at Google. So all right, so here we got position number 9. This is the moment of truth right here. Can we do it? Yes, we can. So it's going to look like this. 1 note per beat, down, up, and then we skip up to the D string. So it's a bit of a pick study too, right? Down, up, and I'm going halfway to the next. When I pluck through a string, I don't go way out here. I try to stay as close to the side of each string as I can to try to improve on my situational awareness for my pick hand. And I know this is painful for some of us to watch, but if you're anything like me and you're just all about the deep detail, this is definitely where we want to be. So it's 1, fingers 2, and then finger skip up to the D string, finger 4, and then 3, and then go back to the E, low E string, and then we'll finish up the 1, 2, 4, 3. We could do this. It's pretty much this exercise, but we're breaking it apart. Let's do this exercise first, all right? And then we'll go back to skipping strings. 1, 2, 2, and 3, 2 notes per 2 attacks per beat. 1, 2, and then 4 and 3. So instead of doing the 1, 2, the linear sort of 1, 2, 3, 4, or 4, 3, 2, 1, we'll just do the 1, 2, 4, 3. 1 and 2 and put numbers shooting boom. Does it still sound like there's a faulty wire? Really? Well, I guess we'll have to take a look at that. I'll fix that for Mondays. That could be why our viewership's a little... Is it that bad? I thought my signal was disturbed. I often think that. I wake up and look in the morning, in the mirror in the morning, I often think, my signal is disturbed. So we have fingers 3 and 4, 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 1 and 2, or any permutation thereof, right? Anything that you think. I think it's YouTube. Tell them their live stream audio stinks and have them email me for a consultation. All right. It's not that bad, Guitar for Everyone. It's not bad enough to get Anthony Tortorello involved. Well, you know, all heck's breaking loose if Anthony's got to if he's got to be in the room. So 1, 2, 4, 3, 1, 2, 4, 3. All right, this is all it is. It's just simple, simple 1, 2, 4, 3, and then it's really meditative. Kind of like I'm really focusing on trying to stay in the game. Bad audio really is not where I want to be on this. So you can see that maybe 4 3 1 2 4 3 1 2. You can see that that's kind of eating at me a little bit, but I definitely am appreciative of knowing about it. So we'll work to correct it. I'll go back and take a look at the feed as we post it, and then we'll study where that might be coming from. So 4 3 1 2 4 3 1 2, or we can do any permutation of any of these finger groups is likely worth doing. Okay, so what we're doing is, you've seen the exercise, and now in an effort to keep us on time, what I'd like to do is just work through this, how I would do this, facilitate the string skips. So 1 2 4 3, and then I'm 1 2 4 3, and then 4 3 1 2, and then back to the A string, 1 2 4 3, and then 1 2 skip, back to, and then 1 2 skip, back, and then skip, 1 2 skip, back, and then skip. And then I would descend the position, and then maybe work something like, you know, this. And then work down each string. So what is it? That's noise, and my signals really got me off here this morning. So hopefully we can get that figured out. Oh man. So we're working on this kind of thing. This kind of thing is going to be one of those. That kind of pattern is what's going to show up in the future. What we have to look forward to. I'm going to try to just be on time today. I'm trying to run on time. If we can get up to 20 likes today, that's great. Super. And if we can, one thing I'm also adding to this is keeping my pinky off sound board or pick guard area. Bad habit of bridging with my pinky. Any pinky supporters with me? That's a good, it seems like that strives for excellence, so I figured you'd want to know. Yeah. It's not that bad. How about now? We have a heater kicked back on. Does that add any I'll go back and study what's going on, and we'll maybe change our location to back into the studio. I started kind of in the studio. It's a little quieter, you know, and we'll see what we can do. So next week, this is roughly ending this week, and let's see what we are doing next week. We're going to start with acoustic guitar. I'm going to start with acoustic guitar. We could start with the electric guitar and continue along with the electric guitar. In either case, I'd like to start working a little bit with fingerstyle technique and developing some accompaniment patterns. And also, because Mr. Mancuso is bringing fingerstyle technique back to the forefront of, you know, prog guitar and electric guitar soloing, and those single note lines, those single note and riffage techniques, I also think it would be a good idea to just start working on, just some right hand stuff, just to kind of, we can do certain things with the right hand with a pick, well, not the right hand, pick hand with fingerstyle that we can't do with a pick and vice versa. So we'll start engaging with that. We want to be sure that we're looking tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at, where are we finding this on your channel, Anthony, or Denim Dennis's channel on YouTube? Okay. All right, I'll let you do, I'll notify, I'll take a quick look at that right away. And thank you for being so responsive. Robbie Smith, thanks for your time, Uncle Jason. Correct. You are most welcome. Is that 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time? That's tonight. That's Anthony Tortorello on YouTube? Or is that Denim Dennis on YouTube? We'll be looking around for your live feed. So you're actually live streaming a practice tonight. Yeah, and I'm not sure. They must have been kind of like broadcasting full duplex audio here for a long time, and I'm not sure what would cause any sort of glitching with that. So if anyone else wants a copy, let me know. Oh, yeah. Very cool. All right, so we'll be looking for Mr. Tortorello's live stream practice tonight. And likely we'll check Mr. Tortorello or Denim Dennis's YouTube presence. And we'll all be eager to see that. We have a couple of things. Oh, so the live stream on the 6th. Tuesday the 6th at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are talking about blues guitar. It's specific to blues guitar and blues phrasing, and we're starting from the beginning. It's billed for like a half hour, and it's open to the public. So if you want to jump on board, that's available. That's a stream happening, but it's going to be a wide format, widescreen, sort of like professionally done live stream. So we'll see you at 6 on Tuesday. But as far as our morning ritual for guitar growth goes, Kevin, have a great weekend, everybody. Until next week, thanks, Jason, for your time and effort. Thank you for being here and sticking it out, Kevin. Say hi to Pop today for us, from all of us, down from our hearts. And Nutshell, yeah, there you go. Go check out Nutshell on my channel. I've got a video called Nutshell on my channel right here at Jason Carey Guitar. See you all. Thank you for coming, Sam, and I hope you stick around with us. And come on back. And Monday at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll see you then. And until that time, happy picking.